Hari Om, Jai Shri Radhe Krishna, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter number 1, Shloka number 1. Dhṛitarāśhtra uvācha, dharma-kṣhetre kuru-kṣhetre, samavetā yuyutsavaḥ, māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāśhchaiva, kimakurvata sañjaya. Dhṛitarāśhtra said, after assembling at the holy land of righteousness, kuru-kṣhetra, and desiring to fight, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do, O Sañjaya? The first chapter in the Gita introduces the scene, the setting, the circumstances, and the characters involved, determining the reasons for the espousal of the Bhagavad Gita. The scene is the sacred plain of Kuru-kṣhetra. The setting is a battlefield. The situation is that the war between the two clans of brothers, the Kauravas and the Pandavas, is about to begin. The main characters are Bhagavan Shri Krishna and the valiant Arjuna from the side of Pandavas, and Duryodhana from the side of Kauravas, in the midst of large armies on both the sides, led by their respective commanders. After noticing the principal warriors on both sides, Arjuna falls into the mood of deep dejection and melancholy due to the fear of destruction of friends and relatives in the course of the impending war, leading to his resolve not to take up arms against his kith and kin. This situation of Arjuna is described in the first chapter, hence it is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, or the yoga of the despondency of Arjuna. The message this first chapter gives here is that the root cause of all sorrow and suffering in this world is our inability to deal with conflict. We experience this conflict at three levels: material, mental, and spiritual. To deal with conflict at the material level, we need to learn how to act and what to say in any situation. How we conduct ourselves in material conflict is mostly dependent on our state of mind. Our minds are in conflict between our rational side and our ego. Coming back to Arjuna's dilemma, Arjuna's rational mind was clear. He was a warrior and had entered the battlefield to fight a war against the enemy for a just cause. Eventually, his ego took control away from his rational mind. His inability to reconcile this conflict of mind, how to fight or kill his family on the enemy side, led to his mental breakdown in the middle of the battlefield, and he wanted to run away or quit from the battlefield. The first shloka in the Gita begins with the word dharma. The Lord is the embodiment of dharma. The aim of the Gita and its main teaching are determined by the very first word dharma. The Lord incarnates himself from time to time to establish dharma. Dhṛitarāśhtra, the word means one who holds a kingdom. He who appropriates to himself a kingdom which is not his is Dhṛitarāśhtra. Dhṛitarāśhtra, the son of Ambika and sage Vedavyasa, was born blind. He was blind to the evil that his sons were committing. He was attached to them and could not see right from wrong. He represents the mind. He married Gandhari, who could see but chose to blind herself after their wedding. She represents the intellect that judges and discriminates. However, the intellect gets blinded when infatuated with the mind, and it loses its clarity. The outcome of the association of a blind mind with a blinded intellect is negativity, loss, and destruction. They had 100 evil sons who took themselves to self-destructive avenues, which means when the intellect is weak and does not guide the mind towards progress, it causes downfall. The Gita begins with the word dharma and ends with the word mama. So the entire Bhagavad Gita explains mama dharma, my essential being, which is not the body, the mind, or the intellect. You are Atman, which is unknown. You only know the body, the mind, and intellect. So the Gita introduces you to your very own self, Atman. Kuru-kṣhetra is the holy place where devatas perform their yajnas. For the gods, Kuru-kṣhetra is their resort, and for the creatures, it is the abode of Brahman, place of liberation and salvation. Dhṛitarāśhtra was blind, so he could not go to the battlefield. However, he wanted to know the ongoing of the war. Hence, sage Vedavyasa left his disciple Sañjaya at the palace of Hastinapura and conferred upon him the power of celestial vision or distant vision. Sañjaya means Samyak Jaya, the one who has conquered his body, mind, and senses. Sañjaya is the official war reporter of the Gita, which means only a man of self-control and purity of heart was qualified to hear, understand, and communicate the teachings of the Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita begins with Dhṛitarāśhtra asking Sañjaya, "What did my sons and the sons of Pandu, assembled at the righteous land of Kuru-kṣhetra, desirous of battle, do?" By using the word māmakāḥ and Pāṇḍava in referring to his sons and the sons of Pandu, he indicates disparity and shows that Dhṛitarāśhtra did not accept the sons of his deceased brother Pandu as his own sons, and this reveals his enmity towards them. This sense of a pair of opposites, minus and not minus, is the result of ahankara or I-ness, which is the source of all evil. This question of Dhṛitarāśhtra exhibits a sense of anxiety in him on two counts. If Pandavas decide not to take the war, his sons will automatically get the kingdom, and in such an event, the stigma of waging the unrighteous war might not stick to his covetous and deceitful sons. If his sons decide not to wage the war, they will lose the kingdom that was earlier acquired by them through deceit. The words dharma-kṣhetre, the land of dharma, used by Dhṛitarāśhtra, depict the dilemma he was experiencing. Kuru-kṣhetra, being the place where dharma originated, is inherently powerfully potent in virtue and righteousness. If the Pandavas, who are virtuous by nature, increase in righteousness due to contact with the holiness of Kuru-kṣhetra, and thereby lose all desire in regaining the kingdom after duly weighing the sinful consequences of slaying their kinsmen and relatives, then Dhṛitarāśhtra would be very pleased. Secondly, Dhṛitarāśhtra feared the Holy Land might influence the minds of his sons as well. If it aroused the faculty of discrimination, they might turn away from killing their cousins and go for a peaceful settlement. He felt great displeasure at this possibility. This was the anxiety in the king's mind because of the greatness and spiritual atmosphere of the field of the battle. The battle of Kuru-kṣhetra symbolizes the turbulence we continuously face in our lives. A similar fight that keeps on going in the battlefield of our mind when we try to judge between the just and the unjust. Our mind gets distracted by ego and attachment, just like Dhṛitarāśhtra. Hari Om. Jai Shri Radhe Krishna.